Jenny McCarthy Show.
Joining me in my studio, Jack Osbourne and Katrina Weidman. Oh my God, Portals to Hell premieres Friday night at 10 o'clock on the Travel Channel. I watched it last night, and I swear to God, I was having trouble. It kept glitching, and then I had to rewind it like 4 times. I'm like, did the demons come through the phone to fuck with my electronics?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, great.
All of that.
Thanks a lot. That's why I woke up with menstrual cramps this morning. So why this show? Let's start there.
So I, since I was a kid, I've always been into, paranormal stuff, and I was a big X-Files nerd and always reading conspiracy books and all that. And in 2011, I started doing a paranormal show on another network and just kind of fell into it. And I was like, this is great. This is fun, and I like getting spooked at times. And Portals to Hell came about really kind of based on a title for a show. We were like, let's do a show called Portals to Hell, and we'll investigate really scary places. And we sold the show, and they were like, Jack, you need a partner. And I was friends with Katrina on the interwebs. And we connected, and Here we are.
Yeah.
Katrina, are you a medium at all, or
No, I stay away from those words. I've had things happen to me like that, but I think those words are kind of dangerous because then people put you in a certain box, and
that's right, they expect a lot,
right? And I don't really think that's what we do. I think our job is we know that these experiences happen, and we want to document it, and we come in objectively. That's the other thing, you kind of have to leave your own beliefs at the door when you walk in.
100%. Now, you guys, I'm like you. I love this stuff, and I've watched everything. I've gone on YouTube and done deep dives into satanic possessions. I'm crazy, and I get spooked that you might bring a demon with you or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a thing.
So, did you feel like any attachments at any time during shootings?
Yeah, we had a weird one.
We had a very weird one. So Jack and I, we investigated this place called Bobby Mackey's. It's this honky tonk, in Kentucky. And, everyone we've ever met, any investigator is always like, you get scratched, you get pushed. I've had things follow me. There's been people that have sworn to never come back to the location because of what they've experienced. And Jack and I, we had weird experiences there for sure. But I think what tripped me up the most, and I think you too, was what happened to us afterwards. So we met with a bishop, and the bishop was like, y'all are crazy. Don't go in there. You're going to get messed up. And we're like, okay, bishop. Whatever.
So,
yeah. So we go in there, and, we're calling this thing out. We're trying different methods. And we go home, and 3 days later, we both end up in the ER on the same day. I live on the East Coast. He's West Coast. And we also had people that don't know us, 2 separate people that we have both met once before, emailed us on the same day that we were in the hospital being like, you brought something home with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was wrong with you guys?
Well, I sprained my ankle and ended up in the ER, and then
I ended up because my daughter randomly just busted her head open, and so it was, although it wasn't anything for me, it was just strange that we both were at the hospital the same day.
So do you guys sage and stuff like that?
We had a full I got a full smudging, and my friend's girlfriend, who I'd literally met once for 20 minutes, randomly messaged me on social media being like, hey, I don't want to freak you out, and I don't tell people this, but I'm a medium, and what are you doing? Because I'm sensing that you've brought something back with you.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me that does not keep you up at night.
Well, here's the weird thing. I hadn't even told you this. Since we've wrapped production, I've had 2 really strange things. One of them just happened to me last week.
Oh my God. I was going to text you last week. That's so weird because I had weird things happening in my house.
Really?
I was like,
Okay,
I should
good.
text Jack.
Yeah, I was my daughter woke up at oh man, it must have been 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went and got into bed with her to kind of settle her back down, and I was just falling asleep, and I heard a female voice go, Jack. When you're going to wake someone up in the night, and you don't want to yell and be like, hey. It was a really subtle, and I shot up out of bed, and I thought, oh, maybe my sister has come over, maybe something's happened to the whatever. And I was like, hello? And I walked around my house, no one was there, but it was a full-on female voice that went,
oh, that's freaky.
Jack.
Wow.
And then the other day I was taking a nap, and I laid down, and I was like, oh, I need a 20-minute power nap. And I heard a voice say, stop breathing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I stopped breathing because I was in that weird, and I woke myself up because I wasn't breathing.
Oh my God, it's so freaky.
Yeah. Wait, what happened to you the other day?
Well, so this is weird. And like literally like 5 days ago, I'm like, I need to text Jack because I know he's experiencing stuff.
Yeah.
And because it was just, and it's nothing like really crazy that was happening in my house, but I was seeing shadows.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, and that's not normal for my house. Like
Yeah.
we have little things happen, but nothing like that. And I was seeing them and I'm like, oh, okay, something's going down. Something's going down in Ghost Town.
I beat both of you, by the way, with my ghost experiences.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I've seen that probably. I went to Hawaii on a deserted like beach with a bunch of my friends. Mind you, we did take ecstasy, but we started to see all the same like ghosts and dead people. It was like once we saw one, then we saw, and we could name each what they look like and everything. It was so freaky.
Weird.
Cut to, I go home, and ever since then, I'll see weird shit like a black. You remember that movie Ghost where those things go?
Yeah, the shadow people. Yeah.
The shadow people. I was like, oh my God. I was laying in bed one night and I'm like, I see one right there. And we have no light in our room, but it's just a darker than dark kind of a thing. So then all of a sudden Donnie, who doesn't believe in this shit, goes, do you see a black weird presence in the corner of the room? I go, you mean right there? And he's like, yeah. And I literally said, if you're not from the light, you must leave. And then it disappeared. And he was like, oh my God, your fucking magical powers. You're
like, yeah, I do, Donnie.
Portals to Hell premieres Friday night at 10 o'clock on the Travel Channel. I want to talk, since we're talking about these demons possibly, or ghosts, which we'll differentiate in a second. The guy that owns the hotel is it the first episode that I watched?
I think we switched it up. The first episode is going to be Twin City Opera House.
Oh, okay. Well,
but that was the first episode we filmed. We just switched the order, but yeah.
Got it. Well, when you guys see Alaska, the Alaskan Hotel, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The guy that owns it, the son of the owner, he's a bartender. There's no doubt that there is some type of spirit living inside of him.
He was an interesting guy, for sure.
Yeah, we were just talking about that because it was such a weird place. I mean, first off, the hotel is really unsettling. Like, you just walk in there and you know, like, oh, you get those creeps, you know.
Right.
And then we met Joshua, and he's highly intelligent, but he kept dropping these like truth bombs on us that were like, wait, what? Like, because he would be like, yes, and then the demon came and spoke to me, and we're like, huh? And then like later he's just like, and I used to conjure evil spirits here. We're like, wait, what?
And then he's like, and then there was a coven, and we're like, wait, huh? He's like, and then I pulled a dead body out of the hot tub, and I'm like, dude, what is?
He's like, but I don't know why it's haunted. It's like,
And he's like, and by the way, I'm Damien. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is he does mention that there's a ghost there that only is will bother hot women.
Yeah.
So the fact that he bothered you, Katrina, I was like, well, at least you know you're hot.
Little egotist there.
All the places that you've been to that you were going to watch, which one made you freaked out the most?
Oh, man. What was yours?
Bobby Mackey's and the Alaskan.
Yeah.
I put those two as my top.
I got really freaked out at Eastern State Penitentiary.
Oh, God, that would freak me out, too.
Yeah.
What did you see there?
I saw a shadow walk down the end of a hallway, and then I went up to the death row wing, and you ever have that? It was a full fight or flight response. Like, everything in me was like, leave this place now. Like, get out of here. And I kept telling the producer, I was like, Elaine, I don't want to be here. I want to go. Just get me out of here. Like, come on. Like, let's just be done. And she's like, no, we need to get more stuff. Come on. We got another couple more hours. And I was in the death row area and I was done. I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. And there was a big industrial ceiling light that just started swinging right behind my head, like violently.
Now, isn't it crazy when your producers get freaked out too, which you
Yes.
show on camera?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like totally spooked.
Yeah, and Elaine, our showrunner, she's super like dialed in like into that. Like, she's always seeing things, and she gets like freaked. She's like, I just saw a little girl. Like at the Alaskan, she was like fully just wigging out the whole time.
Did you guys ever? And you didn't get a chance to probably see the house because they demolished it. But the house that was in Gary, Indiana.
Oh, the Demon House.
The Demon House.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I've done work in that area, and that like it's some weird stuff in that area.
I mean, Jack, you guys listen, if you haven't watched some on YouTube, please go on and watch it. Because the people that go on the show, like people that have lived there, became possessed. And then they interviewed the priests who had to do the exorcisms. And it was the creepiest, like, oh my God, thank God they demolished it. But the cameraman, the guy that was shooting it, they show him becoming possessed at a certain point, like not believing in it. One guy that came to do that EMF, what is it called?
Yeah, like
EMF readings.
He does like geological sites. He's just this like old little cute man that comes over and they're filming him. He winds up, he's like, wow, I've never seen these kind of numbers before. It's crazy. Winds up in the emergency room, almost dying. All of his organs shut down.
What the?
Yeah, and they're showing him in the hospital. Like, it's real shit.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, can they have that kind of effect?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you look at like, I mean, people get crazy responses from interacting with all different types of energies. So like, why couldn't it do that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what would stop me from wanting to go.
So you don't want to come do an episode with us, Jenny?
No, I don't ever. No,
Really?
No. I would be too scared. I mean, I've seen too much shit. Mind you, I was on drugs, but still, it opened a door. It opened my own portal to hell. Jack? What is your I can imagine. I can hear your mom, who I love. Will you send her my love?
I will for sure. Yeah.
What did she say to you when you said you were going to do the show?
Well, first of all, she can't say portals. She says portholes. And she's like, so you're doing portholes to hell? I'm like, no, it's not a boat show. Like, no, she doesn't. She gets a little freaked out, but she's like, what is it you're doing, and why are you doing it? It's a lot of why are you doing this kind of thing.
Totally. And your dad, does he even?
He's just like, oh, none of that's real. He's like, why are you wasting your time with that?
How's he feeling, by the way?
He's doing really well. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's like, he's getting back on his feet, so he's good.
He's truly the best. The funny thing is, I just have visions of my mother talking about Ozzy back in the day when he was, nuts.
Yeah.
Biting off a bat. I mean, she would be like, that man is possessed.
I mean, she probably wasn't wrong. That was a dark time for him.
It was a dark time, but you know what? I got to tell you, I'm not going to go into that show, but I go in and watch your best ofs constantly.
Oh, really?
To me, that's the best reality show ever made.
Well, thank you.
It's true. Let me go back to the show. Portals to Hell premieres you guys Friday night, 10 o'clock on the Travel Channel. Is it possible, because I just read a thing where a girl said, and I think it was from Vanderpump Rules, that she thinks she had sex with a ghost.
Yeah, well, this is it.
We actually talk about this a lot.
We talk about this a lot
Yeah,
because it
too.
fascinates me.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that have claimed that they've had sex with ghosts. I've met a couple of them, and it's really, really interesting.
Katrina has met a couple of them. Katrina's been talking about her fiance for like the last year. I've never met this guy. I've never seen her FaceTime this guy. Like, come clean
He's
to the car
ghost,
wash.
yeah.
He's a demon.
Yeah.
He's a demon. What is the difference, you guys, between like a ghost, spirit, a demonic presence?
Yeah, so it's like it all kind of stems back from like folklore and religious texts. So when we're looking at something like the Bible, right, they describe a demon as an entity that was never alive. It's never been human. It's this very negative, intelligent being, and their whole purpose is to seek the ruin of souls. When we're looking at ghosts, and a lot of religions don't believe that ghosts exist. It's only like, the negative or the positive.
Right.
But, generally, when people say a ghost or a spirit, they believe it's somebody that was once living who is, for whatever reason, their intelligence is still here and that they can communicate with them or they can see them, etc. So those are kind of like the basic, definitions.
And then there's
of
all
that.
these other weird like subcategories,
Yeah.
like elementals and weird. You start getting into the
like lower level demons,
Yeah.
and it's all of this.
Oh, I've watched some of those exorcisms of the higher level demons. That wasn't fun. I'm walking around the house going, Jesus, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I mean, have you guys watched, or we plan on doing any kind of exorcism episodes in the future?
Exorcisms I find are really fascinating. I don't know if I'm totally convinced by them.
Well, and the thing is, too, you have to get the church involved.
Yeah.
And the church, they don't it's really interesting. They don't take this stuff lightly. So if you have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that all these experiences that people have had, there's no other explanation for them. So you have to get psychologists involved, doctors involved. You have to you have to check for gas leaks and mold in the house. And when you present it to the church, then they, go through it with a comb to make sure everything's solid and tight. And then they have a whole process that they go through. So it's not really easy to get as far as a Catholic exorcism, which a lot of people kind of refer to exorcisms
That's
that way.
the only one I would want.
Yeah. It's pretty difficult to get one.
Well, I mean, I just read that the Vatican, and when I say just read, I mean in the last 10 years, that they upped their crew of exorcism teams, training priests to do them. So I don't know if we're upping mental illness or demonic possessions.
It's nice to see the Catholic Church taking that more serious than some other issues.
Oh my God, you're totally right. So when you guys go in, I know we only have a couple minutes left. When you go in Portals to Hell show, do you have a goal? Is it to prove something? Is it to find out something for the owners?
Our goal specifically is just to document. We're not trying to sit here and be like, nope, this is Beelzebub's brother Lewis, and he's been hanging out here since the 1600s. No, we just want to go and see, hey, what's this all about? What's going on here? Can we document any of these hauntings ourselves? And then what tends to happen, especially in our case, is that we've ended up kind of fixing a lot of the BS around the hauntings. Katrina's an amazing researcher, and after the investigations, when we get a bit of information, she starts researching the crap out of it. And a lot of people who have these haunted houses kind of make up these, myths to go with it, and we end up straightening out a lot of them.
I did like, though, that, Jack, that you called the sergeant to confirm the guy did throw himself out the window.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's good. Thanks for confirming that. I'd want to know if that was true.
Yeah, and the audio recording of that whole thing.
Crazy.
Forget about it.
Oh, it's some weird,
It
weird
is.
stuff.
I have chills right now. Shh. You guys make sure you check out the show because it is truly creepy, scary. They do an amazing job, though. Jack Osbourne, Katrina Weidman. Portals to Hell premieres Friday night at 10 o'clock on the Travel Channel. Don't miss it. It's great. Come back anytime, you guys.
Will do.
Thank
Thanks, Jenny.
you.
God bless you both. Much love to your parents,
Bye.
okay? We'll be
See
right
ya.
back.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!